Okay, so this is 2013 Ford Fusion Model SE. I'm at 123,835 miles. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to pull this lever here. It's going to unlock the hood. And if you come out here, come to this location, the lever is going to be right here on the car. So you'll just reach up under. It's going to be kind of towards the front right here. First thing you can do is you're going to find out what type it's going to take. This is a 4-cylinder. It's going to be a 1.6 liter is what I have. So just so you know. And if you come up over here, this is your oil cap here, which is going to say SAE, but it's going to be a 5W20. So that's a specific oil that you're going to have to buy. Your cap should tell you exactly what type of oil that you're going to need. And this is just a pin to actually check your oil itself. So I'm due for mine. So what I usually put inside my car is going to be the Pennzoil. Again, 5W20. This is what I needed to get. But I'm going to put a full synthetic oil inside of it. And what the full synthetic is going to do is right on the back here, what I purchased, it's going to wear protection. Let me see if I can clear that up. In extreme temperatures, better fuel economy, protects horsepower, cleaner pistons, and extreme performance. So again, this is going to be the ultra premium full synthetic. I'm already at 123,000 miles, so I want to make sure that I put in the good stuff. And then also, this is a full synthetic oil filter, very important if you plan on putting full synthetic in it. And for my Ford Fusion, this is going to be a 51348 XP. I purchased all this off Amazon, so it wasn't too expensive. It was cheaper than buying it at one of the AutoZone or O'Reilly stores. So I have it here, so I'm about to go ahead and change it. Just a quick overview of it. So you're gonna have your oil pan, you're gonna have your funnel that's gonna go where your oil cap is. Here is a jack for your vehicle. In the Ford Fusion, this is actually gonna be under your spare tire in the trunk. So if you lift up the carpeted lining, up under there, you're gonna see your spare tire, and under the spare tire, once you unscrew a little knob here, you're gonna be able to get your jack for your vehicle. It's always good to have some extra rags, some paper towels. You're going to definitely need your socket set, and then also just some other tools here. But you're only going to use about one bit from there and one tool from there. But this is just going to be important, but just kind of giving you an overview of some of the things that you're going to use. So I'm going to end up using 2 jacks on this. I'm putting 1 jack. There's a specific spot here. If you look up under the vehicle, you want to make sure that it's actually on the frame of the vehicle. The metal part, you do not want to put it on any plastics or anything like that. You want to make sure that it's right on the middle there. So I think this is a good place. That's directly right behind the tire. And the tire right now is just kind of like at like a free flow. So that's good. And then I'm going to go to the other side and put another one on. But put it about right there. It's a good place for you to put it. I do have the car up on jack stands now. So they're both on each side in the same spot. You got a free flow of your tires. And that's just so that I can actually get up under the vehicle to perform the service. Also, quick safety precaution, you always want to make sure that you have something that you could put under to block it that's bigger than your chest is, so if it does happen to fall, it could land on top of that rim and protect from crushing you. I may receive some constructive criticism for this, but I always put a leveler on this to make sure that the car is level, and the reason being is because I want it to actually drain evenly and not leave anything behind. Just so that you know, this vehicle takes 4.3 quarts of oil of 5W20. Even though they come in a 5 quart, you're not going to use all of it. But just so that you are aware, whatever you get inside this oil pan from your filter and from your oil from the vehicle as well, just so that you know, if you only get 3 quarts back, put 3 quarts in. And also check and make sure that you have enough. The last thing you want to do is overfill it. That could cause complications to your engine. But just make sure that once you've put in what you've received out of it, just check it. Make sure that if you need to add any or take any away, you can do that at that time. So we're about to go ahead and get started. You also want to make sure any rings are off so it doesn't catch on anything, as well as your safety glasses. You want to make sure that those are on. Okay, so if you could see here, you have a skid plate that's up on your vehicle, and you have to remove it to be able to access your oil plug. What it's going to take is like a star Looks just like this. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the size is. Looks like it says T something there, but it's gonna take a star there, and that's just gonna go right up into here, and then you're gonna go ahead and remove these. So let me see here. So as soon as you start removing these, just gonna come out. You wanna make sure to keep those around. Okay. And you're just gonna go around. You have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 plus of these that you're actually gonna have to remove, but just make sure that you do not lose these. You wanna make sure that you have them so that you can put this back in as soon as you're done with your oil change. But that's what they look like. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. Okay, so here is the pad here itself. So that you know, you might want to remove it first from the back so that that drops first, which gives you some room to be able to move the front once you come out here. And then once you're done with that, also somebody mentioned before, it may be good for you to put some of those screws that you pulled out, and then just go ahead and you pull it out, but just set it up over here to the side so you'd be good to go. And let's see if I can get up under here. I'll show you guys where this pan is at. Okay. So actually right there, if you can see it, right here. Hopefully it'll zoom in for you. That's gonna be your oil filter. You can see it just screws on, but your plug is gonna be right here. So, you see, there it is. Okay, so there's your plug. There's an oil pan, just so that you can kind of see from where it's at. Okay. And your filter's gonna be, so it's all easily accessible. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started and set up the pan. Okay, so it's gonna be a 3/8 ratchet here, and you're gonna be pulling off the oil plug with a 9/16. So that's what it's gonna take to actually get the oil plug itself. So you just connect this here, but then also to let you know, whenever you're about to pull the plug, make sure that you put it back a little ways, not directly under it, because it will tend to sometimes shoot out and go past the pan, and then you'll miss the oil. So make sure it's back a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and remove it, and then I'll put the video back on. Let's set the pan up appropriately. Go up in here. Lefty loosey. Should be easy to break off. No problem. Do the rest by finger, but as soon as you pull it, get ready because it's gonna go. Okay, it's almost ready. And there it goes. Okay. Now just let it do its job. Push it back a little bit. And we'll just go ahead and wait until it is ready to go. Make sure that you keep this very, very clean. You do not want any type of dirt or hair or dust or whatever on it. Make sure that before you put it back on there, it gets clean, because this will go directly to your engine. All right, we go let it drain. It's got just a slow drip now, like I had mentioned before. You want to make sure that you check the seal on your plug. Make sure there's no hair or anything on it. You've cleaned up the plug itself. And so it's in good shape, and then all you're gonna have to do, just take it here. As soon as you start screwing it in, it's gonna stop the, but you wanna make sure, do it by hand first so that you know that you did not thread it in properly. So you thread it as far as you can by that, and then you wanna take a rag and you can go ahead and wipe that up so that there's no more drip. So you're good there. Then you grab your ratchet back and just tighten it. Okay, You don't need to over tighten it. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna scoot this pan down a little bit, and then you're gonna come up here to the filter, to the oil filter, and then you're gonna start removing that. That's gonna be directly there. Okay, so your fuel filter will be right behind this location here. So just want to start turning it to the left. You should be able to get it just by hand. All right, it's gonna start off as a slow drip, and then it's gonna really start coming, but you do not want to take this off really fast. So there it goes. Okay, you see it dripping? Okay, it's going right into our oil pan. You could unscrew it a little bit more, get more flow. And once that starts to slow down, move this pan. Once that starts to slow down, then you can take it off more. But I've made the mistake before of removing it off real fast, and you're gonna get about a quart of oil all over your ground. So if you want to, you can open it up a little more. Still unscrewing it, slowing down a little bit so you could take it off a little bit more. So got some more coming, there it goes. So good. Still catching everything. Okay, so it's gonna get loose here in just a second, and then you could just take it okay, it's almost out. There it goes. I have the filter now, so I can go ahead and dump that inside my pan, and then it's got that. So another Wix XP. Let's go ahead and let it pour in there. So now
okay, so here's the new filter. There's the old filter there. Give me a new filter, but what we're looking for is the same. So 51348 XP. The one I just removed is the 5134 XP. Okay, so something you want to do before you put on your brand new filter is you want to take a little bit of the new oil here and actually rub it around the seal itself. And what that's going to do is that's just going to get it ready to go onto the car, and it's actually better for the filter itself. So before you put this new filter back on, just make sure that you put some of the new oil actually on the seal of this new filter.
Now your new filter has been installed. I went ahead and took a rag to the surrounding areas, make sure that's all done. You want to make sure before you put your cover back on is you're going to fill up the vehicle with oil, and then you're going to make sure that there's no leaks or nothing. With it, when it comes to this oil filter itself, just make sure it's just hand strength. Tighten it the best you can, and then once you start up the vehicle, you'll know whether or not you have any leaks. All right, so now on to the pouring.
Okay, so I got about 4 quarts of oil out of this. And so as I mentioned before, I believe I said it was 4.3 quarts is what is required in this vehicle. So now we're going to go ahead and put 4 quarts back into it. So we want to go ahead and remove the cap off the top here like it's already set up. You want to make sure that your funnel is nice and clean before you put it onto that, and then we'll pour in 4 quarts. This is a 5 quart, but you're going to be actually adding 4 quarts here. So if you just want to take about a quart away, so usually at about 1 quart, I'll stop, and then I will check to see what I got. But let's go ahead and pour it in so it's ready for us. Okay. Not a hard thing to do. Just go ahead and pour it in there.
Again, make sure that your filter is on and your plug is set. If not, all this new oil. So we're at about 2.5, and about another 1.5 quarts to go. Okay, 1.5 quarts. Okay, so we're real close to 1 quart right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Let's see here. Go ahead and pull this off. You set this right here. Go ahead and shut this. When you shut it, you want to make sure that this is nice and clean before you put it back into your vehicle. Okay. So that's on, and the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and pull your pin and see how much oil you have in there. And if there's too much, you might have to let a little out. But if there's not enough, then you can continue to add more. The oil, and we are good to go. Next thing you want to do is we'll go ahead and dispose of this oil. We could put it actually in, I have some older Pennzoil cans that we could actually just pour that into instead of having to get another thing for it. And then next we're just going to put this skid plate back on under it, and then we'll go ahead and drop it down. And once it's dropped down, we'll go ahead and check all these other windshield washer fluid, your brake fluid, radiator fluid. So we'll go ahead and go through all those and make sure that everything's good to go. And we'll let it run for a little bit so it can circulate, and you will be good to go. I'll also show you how to reset your oil filter, change oil filter sign inside your vehicle. Okay, so how you set your oil life reset is you want to, by your left button here, you're going to push over to the left. You're going to scroll down to settings. You're going to go to vehicle. You're going to go to oil life reset. You're going to set it to 100%. And then once you set it to 100%, you will no longer have that come up. So now, at 128,000 miles, I will repeat the process. Hopefully it helps, Dalton.